Did you know? An entire colony of over 100 people vanished from an island in North Carolina, without leaving a single body behind. No graves, no weapons, no signs of a struggle, just one word carved into a tree. In 1587, over 100 English settlers arrived on Roanoke Island. Men, women, and children. They were promised a new life in the New World, a fresh start. But supplies ran low. The governor, John White, sailed back to England for help, promising to return in just a few months. Instead, he was gone for 3 years. When he finally made it back in 1590, the settlement was silent. The houses had been dismantled. There was no smoke from fires, no footprints in the dirt. The only clue, the word Croatoan carved into a post. But war had erupted between England and Spain. The Spanish Armada threatened invasion. White's requests for ships were denied again and again. By the time he finally secured passage back across the ocean, 3 years had passed. Imagine the weight on his shoulders as his boat touched shore again. The excitement, the hope of being reunited with his family. And then, silence. No shouts of welcome. No smoke from chimneys. Just the cry of gulls and the wind through empty palisades. White and his men crept through the settlement. The houses had not been burned or destroyed. They had been carefully dismantled, as if packed away piece by piece. Tools were gone. Boats were gone. The settlers had not fled in panic. They had left deliberately. But where? And why? And then came the discovery that would haunt White for the rest of his life. Carved into a wooden post was a single word: Croatoan. On a tree nearby, just 3 letters: CRO. For White, it was both a clue and a torment. Croatoan was the name of a nearby island and of the native people who lived there. Was his family safe among them? Was this a message of hope or a warning? White wanted to sail immediately to Croatoan Island, but fate, once again, betrayed him. A violent storm ripped through the Outer Banks, nearly destroying his ships. Supplies were running out. The men refused to risk their lives chasing shadows, and so, unbelievably, the governor was forced to turn back to England, leaving the mystery unsolved. He never saw his family again. And that's where the whispers begin. Some say the colonists simply moved to Croatoan Island, blending with the friendly tribe there. Plausible. But no English artifacts were ever found at their villages. Others whispered they were attacked by hostile tribes. But where are the bodies, the broken weapons, the fire-scorched ruins? None exist. Another rumour says they starved or froze, scattering into the wilderness. But again, no bones, no graves, no markers of any kind. It is as if the earth itself swallowed them. And then there are the darker legends. The native peoples told stories of spirits in the woods, beings that could mimic your loved ones' voices, luring you away from camp, shadows that drove men mad, entities older than the forest itself, that fed not on flesh, but on entire communities. According to some, the English built their homes on sacred ground. They ignored the warnings, and one night the forest claimed them all. Over the centuries, fragments have surfaced, pottery shards, rusted tools, evidence that small groups may have wandered miles away, but never enough to explain the disappearance of everyone. In 1937, an even stranger clue appeared. A carved stone, supposedly left by Eleanor Dare, White's daughter. The inscription told a grim story, that only 7 were left alive, and that the rest had been taken by spirits and sickness. Historians still debate whether the stone is authentic or a hoax, but it only deepened the mystery. Roanoke remains America's oldest unsolved mystery. 400 years later, no theory has ever been proven, and the strangest part still chills historians today. The settlers' homes were not destroyed, not abandoned in haste. They were dismantled, packed away, left as if the colonists walked willingly into their fate. Why leave in such perfect order? Why carve a single cryptic word instead of leaving a full explanation? Why vanish without a trace? Even now, locals say if you stand on Roanoke Island after dark, you can feel it, the weight of something unfinished, unsettled. Not the ocean, not the birds, but whispers. And sometimes, if the wind is just right, a voice calling your name. Like and subscribe, or you might just disappear too.